Seems like people joined the different meeting. Is it? Good morning, everyone. Just wait for 1 more minute. Let people join so that we could start our class. Oh, is my voice not audible to everyone, or only for someone?
Audible, sir.
Yes, yes.
Audible. Yeah, Nikhil. Hello.
Yes, yes, yes. Can you able to hear me?
Yeah. So Nikhil, every time we receive different link for training, or is it
Uh,
same?
no, it would be different. That you need to talk with the team actually. You will get
So very
every week.
it's a very confusion because I log in with
Uh-huh.
different link. I'm waiting for 10 minutes. Then
Yeah,
I call to Durga
you
soft on.
you has to actually in contact with them because even I should follow the same thing whatever they mention. So it's all about we have to follow as per whatever they have shared us.
So every morning I have to call Durga soft for a new link.
No. Every day it won't be same. Every week it will be one. Every week newly it will be not every
Okay.
day. See, once the link is shared to you, so that link will be there for the whole week.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So let me start the class. So seems everyone joined or anyone yet to be joined because once we get the confirmation, I would see. So I could see some new people join the class. See, Deepak, you are already there, right? Deepak Bihari Singh Kalyan. Anyone new for today who haven't attended before?
Yeah, yeah. Hi, Raju. So this is Ravi. Actually, today my
Okay.
first class.
Okay. So can you please introduce yourself? Like, what is your experience?
So myself Ravi Kumar. So I have experience in Informatica testing and database testing. So I have 3+ years of experience.
No, great. So anyone else joined newly today? You can message if you can't speak. Yeah, hi Vaishali. Morning. Yeah, you can just say about yourself, like what is your experience? Are you a fresher?
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My name is Vaishali. I have completed my ME and I have teaching experience 10 years. Now I want to shift in corporate world. That's why I have joined this training.
Great. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Fine. That would be good. So anyone else there? Because I will start my class without any delay. No one else today, right? Newly joined except this both. Okay, guys. So I would just say you the basic information of what is that, and then we would start without any delay. Initially, we will be discussing about Python. So the reason we discuss about Python is people who are freshers who doesn't have any experience in Python. So we will go a glance on Python completely. So it won't be a complete end-to-end course of Python, but it would be a glance of Python, which will be covering every topic. So after you complete the Python, we'll be discussing I'm sorry. We'll be discussing Selenium. Selenium is all about so this is not the first class, guys. So I would repeat this the classes which were there. 2 or 3 classes are done. That classes will be again taken a backup. So we are actually discussing the basics of Python. You can please find these videos in the YouTube. Also, I will discuss this in one backup class, whatever the things which are done. So hoping everyone knows at least basics of Python so that I can proceed the class, right? At least very simple basics of Python, right? Yeah, so please don't talk anything in the middle after, yeah, you can talk. Yeah, you can tell if anyone joined newly.
And I'm Praveen.
Yeah, hi, Praveen.
Just now I joined. So this is the course regarding to the Selenium with Python.
Yes, this is Selenium with Python. So you can find the syllabus copy here. The syllabus copy consists of, we have designed a very standard quality syllabus. You can find it over here. We'll be completing the complete Python initially after, for first 1 week. So this week we'll complete Python. So once this week we complete Python, we'll be starting with Selenium. Selenium will be seeing end-to-end Selenium. That means we'll be seeing all the concepts of UI automation, majorly on the functional automation part of Selenium. Then we'll see frameworks in Python, all the major frameworks like unit test framework. What are all we have in Python? So we would be covering each and every framework in a very detailed way. We'll also see an end-to-end project with Git and Jenkins completely. We'll also see API testing, both with the Postman tool, agile methodology, manual testing, and all stuff. So I'll also share you at the end of the class. I'll share you some 100+ HR contacts whom you can contact directly, and then you can get placed easily. Okay, so this is all about a very basic introduction. So we were actually discussing about Python, and we are in mid of Python. Okay, so we were discussing. Duration will be around 35 to 40 days, 40 to 45 working days. So Monday to Friday, we don't have classes on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, daily 1 hour class, okay?
Daily 1 hour, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Fine. So we were actually discussing about the loops yesterday, okay? Till loops we are done. People who have missed it, not a problem, guys. I'll take up a backup class again. And also, I would, you can find these videos in the YouTube as well. And second thing, let me just no one should talk in the middle of the class until I complete the class completely. So it's already 8:15 now. We'll take till 9:10. So no one should disturb the middle of the class. If you have any doubts, I'll give you 5 minutes. You can ask me that. Okay. So this is what our process would go. Okay. Because I will explain you every point very clearly, neatly. If you have any doubts, you can ask me only at the end of the class. Okay. Every point will be discussed very neatly. So this is a very simple concept. So there is nothing to be discussed in what do you say in another way around. It's very clear. We were discussing Python, the two basics of Python, meant for all the people who doesn't have experience in Python, and also people who has good knowledge in Python. They can get a revision out of it. So that is the only motto for discussing Python, because it is not our course. It is an extra thing, or we are discussing as part of our course. Okay, people who joins it, then that would be helpful. Okay, fine. Thank you. I'm starting the class. Yeah, we were actually discussing about loops. Okay, so there are two types of loops that we see in Python, majorly. So majorly we would be seeing about for loop and then while loop. So as I was saying you, for loop is we have seen about how to use a for loop. So how to use for loop. So it's all about what is a loop basically. Loop is nothing but you're trying to iterate each and every time. You're trying to iterate on a single element on every time. So that is basically a loop. You're trying to loop a content within a sequence. You're trying to loop a process within a sequence. So I said you right, we can take a list and then we can iterate over a list. So if I take a list like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, somewhere around. If I want to iterate from one element to other element and I want to print the complete sequence of this element, so I can use a loop like this for I in L. For I in L, what does it mean? For I in L means for an iterative object in the list, print I. So every time the I will be, so initially I will be pointing to the first element of the list. So every time it prints, it goes and it moves to the next element until it completes the total list element. So when I run this right, for loop, so I would get an output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for every print statement, you will get one object printed. So this is a simple thing. We have seen how to use the for loop. So for loop for can I use something like this for I in range of okay, for I in 10, can I say for I in 10 print I? Can I do this way? People who has knowledge, can you say it? Can I do this way? For I in 10 print I, is it a right way?
No, sir.
Yeah, why it is not a right way? So yeah, the reason it is not a right way because it is not iterating. We want to iterate over a sequence. What I mean to say is like it is a single element. If I run this, I'll get an error saying that int object is not iteratable. You cannot iterate on a single element. If you want to iterate on a sequence of numbers or sequence of list elements or sequence of tuple elements or dictionary elements, whatever it is, you need to have a sequence, not a single element. So it is a int. Int means it's a one element. 10 is a one integer. It is not group of integers. So I need to use something called range. Range is nothing but it's an operator which takes a group, which takes a sequence of numbers. Range of 10. What does it mean? Or you can say 0 to 9, 0 comma 9, 10. So that means it is very similar as your slicing component. It starts from 0 and ends at 9, not 10. Because see what happens for I in range of 0 comma 10 print I. What it does, initially I points to 0, then when it prints 0, then it goes, it becomes 1, it becomes 2, 3, 4. So till 9 it will be taking. The last it will not take the last element minus 1, because the last element is reserved for space in Python. So when you see this, when you print this, the output will be 0 to 9 every time it prints one element. So you can get it right, you can get 0 to 9. So you can only iterate over a sequence of elements, not a sequence of integer is one element, sequence of elements only possible. Okay, because list is a sequence of elements. So that is the reason that you do a range operator. So can you please tell me what would be the output of this? I hope you have come across this thing. What is the output of this?
2, 4, 6, 8.
Is it 246?
02468.
Exactly.
0246.
Yes, exactly. So what is actually, this is called as a skipping element. So what happens, it starts from 0 and it's supposed to end at 9. Skip one element after every element. So that means it initially takes 0, then skip one element, because when I say 2, it skips one element. When I say 3, it skips 2 element, 4, 3 elements. So when you say 2 here, it skips one element after every element. So it takes 0 first, then it will skip 1, then it will take 2, it will skip 3, it will print 4, skip 5, print 6. So like that till 9 it will be taking as, so 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, the output when I print it. So this is also one thing where you can get the even elements, even numbers out of it. So someone asks you to just take up in even numbers, so you can still do the simple logic like this. Okay, then this is a simple range operation. Okay, so can you tell me, I'm just taking up a small while loop. See guys, Python, whatever I'm discussing will be overall concepts. Okay, it is not a complete end-to-end Python. The reason, because our syllabus is Selenium, I'm going to cover every topic of Python, don't worry. Okay, but overview. So you have to parallelly practice if you have any other things. Understood, right? But whatever I am teaching is more than enough for Selenium. For Selenium, it is enough. Okay, so I am just taking a simple a equal to 0. If I say a equal to 0 and I say while, I'll use a while loop. You need to use a while loop like this. While a condition you have to provide a less than 10. Okay, print a. What is the output I'm supposed to get here? So I am just saying, when is your while loop will execute? While loop will execute only when the condition is true. The concept of while loop means it's a loop which executes when the condition is true. So you need to write the syntax is while some condition within colon, and you need to write with the indentation. This is called indentation, as we were discussing before. Indentation is nothing but, in Python we don't have anything called flower brackets. Instead we have something called indentation. So instead we have something called indentation. So what does actually indentation mean? Indentation is nothing but, it's just like you're writing something that is inside your while loop. That's what you say. Okay, that's what you say. So that's why if you see here, I'm just making an indentation. The indentation would be provided in this way. Just press a tab out of after your loop. So whatever it is there, it will be considered under while loop. So I'm just checking if a is less than 10. I have taken as a equals 0. 0 is less than 10. I'm printing 0. So what is the output supposed to get here? Can you tell me?
Keep on printing the 0.
Sorry.
It's continuously printing the 0.
Yeah. It prints a infinite loop of 0. The reason because, infinite loop of 0. The reason because I'm taking a equal to 0 and 0 less than 10, print a. So here the condition I said you, while loop will execute until the condition is true. So if you take a simple example here, so 0 is less than 10. When I say here a equal to 0, while 0 is less than 10, yes, 0 is less than 10 is a true. So immediately it goes inside this loop. So it prints 0. Again it goes here. Again a becomes 0. Again 0 becomes 0 less than 10. Print 0. Again it prints 0. Again it goes here. Again it prints 0. So it prints an infinite loop of zeros again and again. So here the problem here is I'm not incrementing the value of 0, because you cannot increment the value in while loop. Whereas if you see in for loop, you only take the elements from a sequence. It iterates from one element to other. But whereas here it doesn't happen. So the only thing that you need to do is you need to increment the value of a every time. Okay, you need to increment the value of a every time. When you do so, only then your a will be printed. So here if I say a equal to a plus 1, so first time when it prints 0, now the a becomes 1. So 1 less than 10, yes, true, it prints 1. Again 2, 3, like that it prints till 9. So when it comes 10, 10 is never less than 10, so then it goes out of this loop. So it will not print whatever is there inside the loop. Understood, right? It will not print whatever is there inside the loop. The reason because 10 is not less than 10, and while loop will not execute when the condition is false. Okay, so that is the reason you will get an output saying that 0 to 9. This is a simple while loop. I'll give you some questions, you have to work on it. See guys, my class would be more on practical. There is nothing called theoretical concepts, and no companies ask you theory. Okay, because we are all working employees, guys, see in very clear way. So completely practical will be there. How the companies look at the interviews. I'll share you 100 plus interviewers question contacts. I would ask you to contact them. You can easily get a call. So that's not a problem here in our class at all. The only thing is like you need to practice every day whatever we are discussing. I'll give you some important interview questions. Practice those questions majorly. You will easily crack half of the interview. So now I'll give you some important interview questions, which are very commonly asked in interviews. I'll see how you guys can solve it. Okay. See, are everyone have some basic knowledge in Python in this group? Basic knowledge in Python or zero knowledge? Zero knowledge, no worries. You can, I'll give you some recommendations. Basic knowledge. Okay, because guys, see what I'm saying. If you go for any interview, the questions will be like this. They will be giving you 40% of interview questions will be asked as part of your Python, both programs and theory. So I request you to be very strong in Python. If you are not, so okay. But whatever we are discussing will be enough for Selenium. But for becoming a Python expert, I'll give you some important programming questions, as well as I'll share you some of the important materials where you can practice out. Okay, so if you see here, if you go for any interview, 40% of interview will be covered with Python. What I mean to say, it can be a Python programs or it can be Python concepts. So if you see the programs, I'll give you a website called Geeks for Geeks. People already know it, and I'm just giving you a simple example. Geeks for Geeks. So just type Geeks for Geeks Python programming. Okay, Geeks for Geeks Python programming. So if you type this one, okay, the first example, Python programming example. So parallelly, while the class is happening, I request you to please go and practice all the interview questions from this website. So see that the class will go for next 40 days. So every day you take up some 5 questions or 6 questions and try practicing all these things. If you come down, you can see this, right? You can see this topics. So I request you to go and practice basic programs. In basic programs, we have around 15 questions. 15 questions with programs with the code as well. Okay, you got the output one. Yeah, with code as well. We have with the code as well. So I request you to please go and practice this programs. Okay, with the code. You can please go and see and each and every code. Just open it, see what is the program they have written, what is the question they have asked, how they have solved it. So I request you to please practice this way. Okay, so you go and practice all the things, basic programs, array programs, list programs. Skip this matrix programs, string programs, dictionary, tuple, searching and sorting to some extent you practice. For data structures is very important. Pattern printing not required. See, pattern printing is nowhere asked in interviews right this point of time. The people will misconcept it. You are an experienced guy. For experienced guy, no one will ask you print a pattern program and all stuff. Datetime programs not required much. Regex is important, file handling and more Python programs. Each and every topic has around 15 or 10 questions. I request you to please go on parallelly practice with the class what is happening. See, we have 40 days class. Within 40 days, you take 5 questions every day. Try, see the question, program, and then see answer. See the question, see answer, and then without seeing, you write your own code. So by the time, I can give you guarantee, you will come to a position, there are 100 plus questions overall, if you see. So programs, if you complete all these things, by the time when you reach to a level where you can able to get the logics, okay, I'm clear that you may not get the same questions in interview, but you will get the logics. The logics you will get it. So you can easily solve any program in interview, whatever they ask you, by the logic that you have done from these questions. So I can give you, you can learn the logic of Python by this way. This is the only option you have where you can able to learn your logics. So by the time you complete all these programs, you will simply, you can able to cover 30% of your interview questions. Any interview you attend, no matter it's a small company or a biggest company, you go for any company in Selenium with Python, you will able to cover around 30% of interview questions. Because if you see, the interviewer 90% the interviews will be like this. 40% they'll ask you Python concepts and Python programs. Then Selenium framework and concept they'll ask you 30%. Git, Jenkins, Agile and all real-time stuff, manual testing and all stuff they'll ask you 20%. Some API testing, there are any DB testing existing, manual testing existing, all these things will be 10%. So if you see, the whole interview will be about this way. So out of 40%, this is purely up to you guys, because all these things I can take care to some extent. but I cannot give you guarantee on this 40%, but I can help you out in saying you a reference where you can go, because this is no one can help you in helping you in writing the programs. That's only you has to work on it. So I can request you, please go through this course. This is something that you can able to find it. Along with that, I'll share you some important interview questions which are commonly asked in interviews. So these many things are enough for you to crack any interviews. Okay. So I request you can go through this website, geeksforgeeks.org, Python programming examples. You can find all these things. Each and every section has programs. Each and every program you can open and see how these are working. Okay, you can just go and see all these things, how they are working, how the program has been written, and how to write a similar code for this. Okay, I hope by this time, once you complete all these things, you can become an expert here. You can easily become an expert. See, if you see each and every section, I have almost 20 questions. If I say in average, so I have around 200 questions all around. Not 200, 150, near to 150 questions we have. So you can be expert in Python programming once you are done with this courses. Okay, you can go through each and every program and solve it separately. You can maintain a separate book and try practicing it in your book. Write your code without seeing and then execute it in your system and all stuff. Okay, so I hope you're clear, guys. So theory part is whatever I am discussing, to some extent it is enough. Theory part you can please go through for Python especially, because Selenium and all, that's a different story. Whatever I am teaching, that's more than enough for you. But the discussion what is here is Python, which is a core. So that is a prerequisite that you need to know already. So I can request you, please go and see all the you can join Durga's class Python core if you want. Otherwise you can go through YouTube, and in YouTube there are a lot of videos of Durga's, so that are more than enough for you to crack all the learn the topics of Python. Whatever I'm teaching is enough for you for Selenium perspective. Clear, guys? Then thank you. So I'll give you some questions. We'll see whether you can solve it or not to some extent. Can you please try to do this question? How to find the count of the words in a given string? I'll give you a string. I want you to know, this is a question, guys. Let's see how do we solve it. How do you solve it? And I can give you a simple process. So this is a question. The question is, these are all interview questions, guys, which are asked in all the interviews from last couple of days. I will share you all these things. No issue. So how to find the count of, like, otherwise find the count of words in the given string. So I have a string. I want to get the count of the words. How many words are there? How do you do that? How do you do that, guys? Any idea?
The target is number of string in the variable.
Yeah, tell me the logic. Huh?
Using for loop also you can use.
Yes.
And we can use first, we can initially we can take count equals to 0, then we can increase count value for every for loop iteration.
That is right. That is one way. And I'll give you one more question within this. I'll ask you how to get me the repetitive words, how to get the count of repetitive words in this string. See, the problem here is, the question here is, I want to know how many times hello is repeated, everyone is repeated. So it is a count of words, not the count of characters.
We have to split this intersection with the delimiter, I think.
You have to split it. How do you split it? So
there's space.
Yeah, you can split it. So once you split it, then what you do?
I think we have to assign it to some array, then we have to iterate that loop.
Any other logics, anyone, guys? See, the only thing when you know Python logics, then the story is done. Because by Selenium, what I say, Selenium is a saturated content. whoever teaches will teach to that extent. In Python, I think there is no other Selenium with Python course existing in market. I don't see people with our content. Our content is more than sufficient than anyone content. Selenium is a saturation course. That means you cannot learn anything more than that. Whatever is there, we can learn it. We will easily learn it. But when you see Python logics are not saturated. It is not final. There is nothing called the final stage of Python. So it's all about you have to increase your logics as much as you can. So you can easily crack any interviews. That's the only option. So my question is simple. I would ask you, how do you find the count of the words in this string? So what are the different logics that you can come with? Logics is important. Might be you may miss the program, but the logic is important.
Can you tell me, sir? We don't like.
I would explain you tomorrow if you can't solve it today. You try. There are a lot of ways, guys. There are a lot of ways. One is like you said, you split it. Then after you split it, you take each and every element, and then you can see if that is repeated. The count of each and every element you can take it using some inbuilt methods of your. You have inbuilt methods as part of your list and your string. You can use that. Then other ways you can able to do.
After splitting, use the empty list to store the values. So one by one, we can compare it with the list. I mean the newly created list, and we can store. So by doing that, we can identify the duplicates.
Yeah, that there are a lot of ways. I mean to say, like you can able to take empty list and you append whenever that the count of it is more than one. Okay, that becomes a new list again, or else you can print that list how many times that element is there. Elsewhere you can take up each and every element from this the list, each and every element, and you can get that count of each and every element, how many times that element is there. If it is 2 times, you will get the count 2. If it is 1 time, you will get the count 1. So that is one more way. And there are a lot of ways, guys. There are a lot of ways you can form it. You can use a dictionary as well for the element and then count of it. So the keys will be the element and the count will be the value. So you can take that concept and you can also proceed with that. So there are ways. There are a lot of ways which you can follow with. Okay. So you try solving it and we'll see if there is any people can't do it. You can find this simple question in Google it. I said you right. Go and practice this website, Geeks for Geeks. If you just type it in Google, that's why I'm asking you is go and do it. You will find this. This is an interview question which is asked in interview. Okay. See, the first thing what you get is like Geeks for Geeks. You will find it. This is already there. You can just try to try to see this how it is repeated. See what they did. They have just splitted the string. After they have splitted the string, they're getting the length of that whatever the splitted string. So here it is a count of words. It is not the count of individual words. It's all about count of word. Suppose you have 10 words. So what is the words? So if geek for geeks is there. So this is 1 word, 2 word, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Everything that is having a gap is called as a word, right? So you don't say it is it's the whole thing is called one word. So this is a simple program which gives you the list of words in this string. So what he's doing is doing nothing, guys. He's just splitting the string and getting the length of that string, whatever it is. So when I say how to find the repetitive elements, or if I say how to find the duplicate elements of the string, okay, how to find the duplicate elements, you just try doing like this. Duplicate elements Python. If you see, you will get again same you will get it in Geeks for Geeks every time. So that's why I ask you to go and practice this. See what he is doing a simple way. He's getting the size. He's taking empty list and iterating over the size. Whenever it is iterating, he's increasing the value of I. So it is one way. See, this is one way, guys. Whatever he's doing is one way. Where he's doing a simple way, he's trying to use 2 for loops, and then within for loops, he is iterating on each and every element, increasing the count of it to the next element. If both are equal, if that element and the beside element is same and it is not repeated, then we are going to append it to the new list. This is one logic. You have a lot of logics like you can work with. So the logic what he used is simple. He's taking a two loops, one loop with one element and one next element will be the next loop. So he's just comparing the first element and next element. If they both are equal and that is not repeated, not in the repeated. Repeated is something that is empty list. So if it is not repeated in that, or if it is not added or appended to that empty list, then this guy is doing what? This guy is pushing that element into the empty list. So that is a simple thing he's trying to do. This is one way you can work on. See, by seeing the program itself, you need to understand what logic he has used. So only when you practice much, you can easily do it. Okay. So you don't need to go through each and every line of code. You can just see the program, understand what is the logic he applied. Okay, it's a simple way. Okay, this is what he applied. Then you can able to write your own logic. Just see it and try practicing this way and try your own way. Okay. So when you try doing this way, what you will come to a situation where you can program, you can answer any programming question. If you can answer any programming question in Python, then you are done here. You can easily crack any interview. That's the only thing that you need to find. You just leave to me the Selenium and all stuff. I'll take care. Whatever is there, you are practicing it now. So you parallelly go through these websites and all that. So I'll share you some interview questions which are asked in interview from last 3-4 years, major interview questions which have been there. So I'll give you some different programs. Don't worry. You please practice it. Okay, what is the frequency of elements, reverse of characters? Can you do reverse of characters? I'll move to the next topic without any delay. Can you do something like this? Get the count of alphabets and digits in my string. This is one more important interview question which is asked quite some long time. Can you tell me what is the count of alphabets and digits in my given string? See, hello, I have hello 1 2 3. How do you use a logic to do this? This is a repetitive question here in an interview. Any logics?
I think we have to find out the length
Is
of the
alpha and is digit.
Exactly. So there is something called is alpha in Python, is digit in Python. And then, so what you do, you try to take a list. You can take this as a string, and then within the string, you do an iteration over a string, and you find whenever that element is alphabet or not, using some inbuilt method called is alpha. You can take that string dot is alpha. It is alpha, then you increment the value of take a variable count of the strings, count of the characters, and increment the count of characters. So again, you check whether it is a digit. If it is a digit, then you can try to increase the count of that. So you can also check an third option if it is alphanumeric, because all num, that is not there here. If it is a special character, it goes there. So if it is not of all these alphabets or digits, you can take some else and you can print something else. So it's a very simple logic. You can take a list and you can take a string, give an iteration on it, get each and every element, check it is alphabet or not. If it is alphabet, then increment the value of alphabet, count of alphabet. Then if it is a digit, then increment the count of digit. I hope you can do it. See, there is something called is alpha, right? Is alpha, is digit. There are inbuilt methods. By this you can use it. So you do one thing, guys, you have to practice it. It's all about when you practice it, when seeing the question, you can understand. The only thing in interviews they are expecting is to do the programming. I'm saying you from the first day. The reason, because if you are strong in programming, you can crack any Python interview code, any Python interview programs with Selenium, because Selenium is a saturated content. It is a content that is having some limits, but Python doesn't have limits. They can ask you any programming question. That will be done only when you know logics. Okay, got it right? So we have to discuss as many. I'll share you as many interview questions are there which are asked in interviews, and you try practicing it from the website which I have been discussing. This website is more than enough, because I have seen people, everyone try asking the questions, whatever they ask, that is there in this website. So please go and practice this question, not in one day, guys. We have 40 days. Every day take some 5 questions, try practicing them without seeing execute them, improve your logical content, not the programming. Don't mug up and write the same, repeat the same logic there in your program. Understand how they are writing, what is the logic they are applying. Okay, that is important. I hope you understood, everyone. So let us go and discuss about the functions without any delay. So we are going to see something called functions. In functions, what are we seeing? We just want to understand what is actually a function, how it is defined. So we are not going to see a very deep about functions, but a very overview of functions, how it is defined, how to call the methods, how to call it, what is function declaration, what is a function body, how exactly a function works in Python. People already know what is function and all stuff. I will start with what is function and how. I'll share you running notes, guys. Don't worry. We have a running notes which is there with Python, and I'll share it in the group today. See, and one more thing. Is there anyone yet to pay the fee here? Because I'll share you the notes today from my end. Okay. If anyone is there, please do it today, because I'll try to share you the notes and content. You can go with. Yeah, so why people use functions? Functions is basically used for the reusability of the code. So what is exactly reusability? Suppose I am writing a 10,000 lines of code and I want to reuse some 5 lines of my code every time. So instead writing that 5 lines of code every time, I'll create a function and then I'll call that function whenever I require that 5 lines of code. So that is a simple way when you say that how the functions are used. Functions are used to reusability of the code and then make your code to understand clearly. So because if you write code in one go without any understandability, so that will be a problem. When you write in a concept of functions, so people can understand, okay, there is some function and there is a functionality that is happened in this function. So they would understand in a simple way. So here our target is like what is function, how it is actually defined, and then how they are defined and how they are being used. So you can just see it this way. So you need to write DEF. For every function you need to write DEF. DEF is like an initialization of your function. So when I say DEF, that means it says that it's a function in Python. DEF space, you can give any function name. I'll give you function name called fu1. You can give anything, and within that you need to give the parameters here. You know what are parameters? Parameters are those which are passed as part of function declaration, which is meant to use in the function body. Okay, I can use this function parameters wherever I want in my function body. Suppose think that I am using a. See, I'm not using anything called int or float or anything. String, the reason because Python doesn't takes any data type pre-declaration. We don't need to say anything called integer, float, or anything. In Java it is required, or in other languages it is required. But for us Python, when I say fu1 of a can be a string, can be an integer, can be a list, can be any data type. I don't need to mention the data type. Okay, so the thing is like def function name and parameter, then colon. Colon is mandatory in Python for conditional statements, for loops, for functions, for classes, for everything. Wherever you see, use something called indentation. So for the indentation, you need to use a colon, and then you need to provide the data out of it. So you need to give a tab. If you press a tab in your keyboard, you will come here. So whatever you are writing here is called as a function. So this is called function declaration. Whatever you are declaring in the initial way with the DEF is called function declaration, and whatever you are writing inside it is called as a function body. So I'm just trying to print a. I don't know what is a. I'm just trying to print a. Okay. So this is the function body. See, I'm just trying to print a. What is a? I'm not sure, but that a I have to provide from the function call. So I'm just saying fun1. I'm providing function call. So hello everyone, something like this. So what is happening here is like the function execution starts out of it. Okay, when I try to execute this function, the function execution will start from here, not from the DEF. So here the function execution will start. So it will see is there any function called fun1. It goes here directly, and whatever is there hello everyone will be assigned to A. So now my A becomes this one. So in Python, everything is called call by reference. You're referring some data to A. Call by value is not there in Python. Okay, call by value. You're not providing an exact value in the function declaration itself. So in Python, everything is a call by value, call by reference. What do you mean by reference? You're trying to refer a data, refer information, or you're trying to refer a variable to a variable. Got it right? You're trying to pass the value by reference, not by value. So here, hello everyone will be assigned to A. When I print A, I will get the output as hello everyone. Okay, this is called function call. What is that? This is called function call. So you're calling the function. Which function? You're defining the defined function. fun1 is a function which you define and you're calling it here fun1. So initially it will go, the execution will start from here. It goes and sees is there anything called fun1, and whatever you're providing as a parameter will be assigned to here, and then that is been printed. So can you tell me what is the output of this?
Just to return the value, that's it. Doesn't print anything.
What is the output of this? Just tell me what is the output.
Nothing it will print.
Nothing it will print.
Nothing.
Nothing. Why it is nothing? I want you to understand the logic why we are actually using this one. What is the use of it actually? So when I print it, what is the output I'm supposed to get? I'll not get anything, guys. I'll not get anything. So how can I retrieve the value of A? It is returning. Returning means it is holding the value and it is coming out of the loop. I mean the function. What is supposed to be done? I need to assign to a variable. I can say B.
We can put that in print.
Yeah, you can print it in print, or you can able to assign to a variable and you can print it. Still you will get the output like this. Understood, right? You got hello everyone. So what you are trying to, you are to assign to a you are assigning to a variable, you are assigning to an object and retrieving that object, because whenever that returning a value is returned, a value is coming out of your function. Okay, it is not printing, it is not displaying in the screen, it is coming out of it. It is returning, it is holding the value and coming out of it. When it is holding value, what I'll do, I will try to give that value to some other variable and print that variable. Otherwise, I can able to print that value which is holding it out of the loop. So that is also possible. You can also print the function with the function call. So when I print it, you will get the output now. So the difference between print and return means it will come out of the loop. It will come out of the function. And then it will hold the value of it. So now when I give you a simple thing, there are some things that you need to understand. Keyword arguments, default arguments, okay, keyword arguments, default parameters, global variables, local variables. There are certain concepts that you need to understand as part of functions. Okay, I will give you a simple example of this so that you can understand how this keyword arguments actually works and default parameter works in Python, all stuff. Okay. So if you see this example, I would just give you a direct example over here. So this is an example, simple example. So in Python, there is a concept of local and global variables. Okay, there is a concept of local and global variables. What is actually a local variable? In Python, anything that is defined inside the function is called as a local variable. Any variable that is defined inside the function is called as a local variable. And the scope of that local variable is within the function. So if you see this program and any variable that is defined outside the for loop or outside the function is called as a global variable, and the scope of global variable is there throughout the program. Just two things you need to remember. Local variable is a variable that is defined inside the method, inside the function. Okay. Local variable is a variable that is defined inside the function. The scope of local variable is only within the function. Second thing, global variable is defined outside the function. The scope of global variable is throughout the program. So if you see here, I have taken, this is a function call, this is the function call, this is I'm printing L. So the concept, the execution will start from here, guys, because which is outside the loops. So here what I have taken some list equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm calling the function fun1 of L. What does it mean? What does it mean? So Someone is actually repeating mine. Is it? Hello? Yeah, it's fine now. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say, I'm taking L equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm printing FUN of L. That means I'm passing this list inside as an argument. Whatever you are passing, this is called argument, and this is called parameter, guys. Okay. In the function declaration, if you pass that, that is called a parameter, and in the function call, if you pass it, it is called as an argument. You just need to remember it. So here, if I take L equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and FUN 1 of 1, what does it mean? It is calling the function FUN1. It immediately goes and check is there anything called FUN1, and whatever the L what you have provided here, it will be providing 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 will be provided as L here. But see guys, now I am trying to modify L to 4, 5, 6. This is called as a local variable. Any variable that is defined inside the function is called as a local variable. See here, this is called as a local variable. The reason because it is defined inside the function. So it is modifying the value of L. L is 1, 2, 3, 4, but when it comes here, now my L becomes 4, 5, 6. L becomes 4, 5, 6. So it is no more 1, 2, 3, 4. Within the function, it is no more 1, 2, 3, 4. The reason because it is been updated, or it is been modified by 4, 5, 6 with a different assignment. So the latest value of that assignment is that value itself. In Python, if I say a equal to 10, immediately if I say a equal to 20, again if I say a equal to 30, so I will get the value of a is only 30, not 20 and 10. What happens 20 and 10? There is something called garbage collector. Whenever any variable is not used in Python, that will be auto deleted. Okay, similar to that, when I say here it is not deleted because L is being used somewhere. That L is not used, then it will be deleted. But if it is replacing, my L is being replaced by 4, 5, 6. Okay, 4, 5, 6. This is called local variable. Any variable that is defined inside the function is called as a local variable. Now I am going to do what? L dot append of 10. I'm going to add an element called 10. You know, append is nothing, but you are trying to add an element at the last index. That is all about append in list. We have seen in the list methods, there is a method called append. Append, what it is going to do, it is going to add an element to the last index. So if I print L here, what is happening here? The output will be 4, 5, 6, 10. It is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. It is about 4, 5, 6, 10 because the local variable is replaced with my global. So returning L. Return L means immediately it is not mandatory to use return L. Return L means you are trying to come out of the loop. So if I just don't use it also, not issue. So I'm just printing L. So immediately what happens after completion this thing, it will come out of it. So till here it is there. So initially it will start, it will just take L equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it calls this function. This calls this function. Whenever it calls this function, it goes here. It tries to say, okay, L equal to 4, 5, 6. Now 1, 2, 3, 4 is replaced by 4, 5, 6. Then 4, 5, 6 dot append of 10. You will get print L 4, 5, 6, 10. The output is here. The output will be not 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. It is 4, 5, 6, 10. But if you see here, when again I'm printing L, what does it mean? Here this is a print L which is not part of loop function. It is outside the function. So this L is not 4, 5, 6, 10. This L is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4. Because this is called as a global variable. Any variable that is defined outside the function is called as global variable, right? So whenever there is a clash between local and global within the function, it will take the precedence of local, not the global. If there is no local variable, then it will immediately take as a global one. See, if I don't have this one, then the output is 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. But if I have something else, which is a local element, so it will consider the local variable. So here by default, the output will be 1, 2, 3, 4 only. Are you getting right, everyone? Everyone is getting what I am saying? I hope you understood.
Yes,
right?
thank you.
1, 4, 5, 6, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I hope everyone is clear what I am trying to say. Everyone is able to understand in a very simple way. So the concept of local and global variables happens in Python in this way. Local variable is a variable within the function and global is outside the function. So, and one more thing. So I am taking L equal to 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now I'm taking L equal to 4, 5, 6. If I print this one, you just need to understand the ways. What are the different ways that we have? If I print this one, what is the output I'll get? I'll get a name error. L is not defined. Why? Because L is not defined here. Okay, I'll do one thing. 1, 2, 3. So I'll get a error saying that print L. This name is not defined. This L is not defined because I have not defined any global variable. I want to make something as a global variable. I want to make L as a global variable. Okay, I'll say it only outside the function you have to select. Only outside the function it is possible, which is by default it is global, but you don't need to mention anything. What I'm trying to say here is simple way. See, L is not defined. It's not defined. Then I have to do control F. One minute. I'm trying to give you a simple. However, yeah, it's not. We cannot use this way here. I'll let you know another concept way. How does actually it works out? So you can still make a local variable a global, and then you can use it. Okay, you can initialize that global local to a global, and you can work on it. You can still work on it. But see, yeah, this is what we have seen: local and global. Just leave it because the output will not get because L is not defined. So if I have taken L, if I have defined L something like this, by default it becomes a global variable. So if I take something like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like this, so now it will give me output because this L will be outside. This L will be nowhere used. This L is nowhere used. Okay, this L is nowhere used. Then there is something called keyword arguments. You see, right? You come across some basic concept of keyword arguments. What is actually a keyword argument? So very simple, guys. The arguments that are provided with the name of the parameter, you can interchange the arguments with the parameter name is provided. I'll give you a simple example. This is all about a very simple example that you can able to work on it. So you can use a keyword arguments in Python. See, if you see something like this, okay, you know, something like this. If I take a function def function 1 name and age, if I say print name equal to name and print age is age, function 1 age 32 Nikhil. So I'm just trying to see here. You can just observe a simple way. I am supposed to pass here the data. I'm supposed to pass the data. Whatever I'm passing. Suppose if I pass here 25, and then if I say Nikhil, what is the output I'm supposed to get here? Name is 25 and age is Nikhil. Is it a right way? If I print it, I'll get a wrong way, which I don't require. Name is 25 because by default the first argument will be taken as this one. It will be assigning to name, and second argument will be assigning to the age. This is what everyone knows. I'm printing that with the print statement. I'm printing the name and age. But see, guys, I want to still, even though if I interchange, I want to assign it to the right element, right value. So what I need to do in the function arguments, what is a keyword argument? Keyword argument is arguments which are being provided in the function call. In the function call, you're giving the name of the parameter. I'm giving name of the parameter age. So instead of it assigning to this name, it goes and assign to the age. If I say name equal to Nikhil. So now instead of it printing age equal to Nikhil and then name equal to 32 or 25 or whatever it is, okay, it tries to assign to a different way. So if I print here, it goes and gives me the whatever I want. You got it, right? So what is actually a keyword argument here? You are trying to pass the parameter name in the argument. You're assigning the value with the name of the parameter in the arguments is called as a keyword argument. So what is happening here? I'm giving this is called parameter. You're passing the parameter equal to, you're assigning the value, you're assigning in the argument, you're assigning the value, okay, by the name of the parameter is called as a keyword argument. See, I can still interchange it. Normally, I can do any number of function calls, guys. Okay, I can do any number of function calls. I can say Nikhil, then 32. This is one way. By here, it will be defaultly, it will assign to name and age. But still you can use, even though if you interchange, but if you provide the name of the parameter, it will take according only. Okay, this is called a keyword argument, which is actually accepted in Python. Okay, you can do this. You can interchange you can still interchange the values, you can arguments, but you should provide the name of the parameter. So that is nothing but keyword arguments. Keyword arguments means you are providing the name of the keyword in the argument, parameter name in the argument. Any doubts, guys? Any doubts for this? Any doubts for this?
No.
There is
So
something
Nikhil,
called, yeah.
actually in the arguments, okay, name and age, okay, but you're giving in the interchangeable way. Okay, first age and the second name. Still, it is taking name as first one and the age as second one. I mean, it is taking their respective parameters for actual parameters. So that is the point, right?
Yeah, the point here
So
is you can even interchange it by the name of the parameter. If you give the parameter, even though if you interchange, that doesn't make a difference.
Okay. But I mean, if you're not giving the parameter, only the values, okay,
Then
32 Nikhil, then there will be a traceback error, right?
Yes.
Okay, Nikhil.
You will not get error, but the way it assigns in a different way. You will get an error when you only provide one argument. See, if I pass only one argument, supposed to take two arguments, I'll get an error here. Function one missing one required positional argument. I'm supposed to pass two arguments. I'm supposed to pass. Okay, whatever that, it can be a list you can pass. See, you can pass any in Python. You don't have any data type declaration. You can pass anything. It only understands, it assigns that value. It only refers that value. It doesn't see what data type it is, what kind of data you're passing and all stuff. It only sees, it assigns the value. Understood, right? So you will get an error when you miss an argument. This is actually a functional, the keyword argument. Keyword argument means passing the value. Still you can pass like this also. See, if you have, suppose you can still even pass name equal to, there is no problem. If you say name equal to Nikhil, age equal to that, doesn't make difference. Okay, doesn't make difference. You can still do this way. See, the only thing the functional, keyword arguments will come into picture is you can pass like this. You can pass like this. This is also true. You can still, if you interchange also, you can pass like this. This is also true. So the only keyword arguments major play is like the name of the parameter that you are providing in the arguments. So whatever you are providing, that will be assigned to that particular element. Suppose there are 10. Suppose you have one more thing. Suppose location. Okay. Then location is there. So you want to interchange in whatever the way. You want to provide the location first. So you can say location equal to something like this. Location equal to Hyderabad. Are you getting what I'm trying to say, everyone? So when I print like this, I'll get error for this too, because I'm not providing anything. So it will try to assign to whatever it is supposed to assign. I'm not printing this location. Okay, if I print it, it is supposed to assign to whatever it is supposed to. Got it, right? The only concept that you need to understand is like, even though you queue whatever the positional arguments, but it should be assigned with the keywords, the argument, the name of the parameter. So that is nothing but the keyword argument concept. Okay. See, Whatever the declaration is there and whatever I am passing is different, but I have provided the value of argument parameter. So accordingly only it will assign it instead of assigning to something different. I'll get error when I assign only 2 values, when it takes 3 values. This is the error you will get. Okay, you will get one functional argument is missing. But here if you pass equal type data but in a different interchangeable way. So there is something called default parameters. Suppose I'll say equal to Hyderabad. Default parameters means you're passing the value of the parameter in the declaration itself. When you're assigning some value here itself in the declaration, it is called as a default parameter. So when I'm saying Chennai here, okay, when I say Chennai here, and in the second time I'm not going to, I'll give you a simple one, function one. I'm not going to give, I'm just saying name equal to, I'm just saying Nikhil 32. See guys, if you see here the location, whenever it is we are providing the value of location, any location, it will replace the value. You are providing some default value here. Okay, you are providing some value here. You are saying some location equal to something else here. Okay, whenever you are providing some argument, it will replace Hyderabad with that argument. So now for the first print statement, I will get Chennai, I'll get the name Nikhil 32 and Chennai. Second time, I am not providing the argument itself. So here the default argument will come into picture. Whenever you are not providing any argument, it will take the default parameter. Got it right? That is called as a default parameter. So second time it will take Nikhil 32 and Hyderabad. Understood, right? You got it right? The output when you see here in the second output, if you see Nikhil 32 and Hyderabad. First time Nikhil 32 Chennai, then Nikhil 32 Hyderabad. I hope you are able to understand, right? Default parameter will come into picture when you are providing some value, one argument. It will replace the argument of that. If it is you are not providing anything, it will take the default, it will take that parameter as an argument. Are you guys getting what is meant by default parameter concept? Keyword arguments means giving the name of the parameter. Default parameter means it is defaultly taking the parameter if you are not providing it. If you are providing something, it will replace it. If you are not providing anything, it will take default. So I hope everyone is clear, guys. Any doubts?
It's clear.
Any doubts for anyone? Yeah, except the, I mean, not related to class also, any doubts? Because guys, if you do payment, I will be adding you into group. Anyone did payment from this group who is not there in the group?
I didn't pay money today my first class.
Sorry? Yeah. Anyone else? I'm asking someone, other people who's, because I'll be adding in the group and I'll share you some interview questions and all stuff. Anyone still yet to be done, or anyone done it in this group? Anyone who is not there in the group and done the payment?
Yeah, I done the payment in group.
Who is that?
Jan.
Deepak Jain. Deepak, you have done, right? You are not there in the group, right?
Right.
Yeah. Can you please tell me your number and add it in the group WhatsApp number?
Yeah, 99.
1 minute. You can message me, no, in the chat. Seems other people will be disturbed.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyone else who are so please do it by today. I have very clear. You can just check the syllabus, whatever is there. Syllabus is 99% standard compared to other syllabus. You can just find the syllabus. Whatever is there in the syllabus, we will do it. We will see exactly the same, and more we will see. On top of it also, we'll see. Don't worry. We'll see a real-time project. We'll see. I mean, project means the complete Selenium architecture. We'll see, and we'll see API testing. We'll see basics of Selenium concepts and all stuff. So Selenium, the syllabus is more important. 9953. Yeah. Anyone else is there today who is not joined? Okay. So other people are there, right?
Sir, not join. I will attend tomorrow demo lecture also. Then I will decide.
Yeah. No issues. See, I'm just asking people who are older and who has not done the payment. New people like 2-3 people are new, right? No issues. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you, guys. Then for today, I would see tomorrow. Tomorrow we will continue with that things. So you don't have any issues. We'll close it. I requested you please go through this website. Parallelly practice all these things.
Yeah, Nikhil, one question.
Yeah.
Do you have more, any jobs on this Python Selenium more?
Sorry.
No, in the market already, mostly projects are working with the Selenium with Java.
No.
So
There are
projects
equal
with
requirements. Yes, there are equally same requirements in Python as well.
okay.
Python, you can just go through Google. See, you don't need to ask me as well. You can directly go through Naukri and check, type these things. Type Selenium WebDriver, Python. You will find hundreds of job openings. So you don't just need to ask me as well, because see, there are obviously, yeah, if you see 55 and 45, 55 for Java and 45 for Python. But now companies are migrating from Java to Python. A lot of companies.
Okay. Is there any specific reason to migrating?
The reason is simple. It is simple. It is comparatively more simple to Python, Java, and it can do big things. It can do equal things as Java. What does it do?
No.
So that is the reason. Basically, people try to migrate. The companies just go through Naukri, because Naukri, you see hundreds of job openings on everyday basis. Because Naukri is not my website, right? It is a website which is globally for all the interview people who are aspirants. So you can just check it. Your 100 openings are there actually on everyday basis. So when you see, Java is almost 5 to 6 times tougher than Python, guys. So if you want to start with anything programming, you can't go to Java and learn Selenium, because this is more tougher. Understood, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
are you providing any videos, recorded sessions to of this
Sorry.
session? Are you providing any recorded sessions?
Yeah. You can please every day after the class is done, your recording will be provided by the team. Durga Soft team will be providing you recording. If you miss the class, also no issues, because you can go through the recording, and the class notes will be sent by me. But yeah, once I get the confirmation of payment done by everyone, only then I can share to the people whoever are there.
Nikhil, Durga team provide recording by itself, or we have to contact with Durga Soft team every day for
No, they
recording?
will. I think they will be in contact with you. They'll share you some link and where you can find the videos. Did they share you? Other people are already there. You are there in group, I think so. No, you are not joining the group. You can add him in the group which I have just provided you.
I shared my
So,
number to you to please add.
They'll add you in the group, so you can talk with the people, other people as well, how they are getting and how you can get it from them also. Yeah. So I think fine, guys. Yeah, tomorrow we will probably start from 8:05. Yeah, some people have issues. I understood it, but yeah, from 8:05 we will start. 8:05. We will 8:05 maximum. See, because what happens here is people join till 8:10. Even I also don't want to join 8 o'clock sharp, because it is India, and you know, right? We don't do anything on time. So as people join, only everyone joins, I can start the class. That's the thing. So I have to wait for other people as well. So that's the reason. See, yeah, we'll try to sort it out. We'll try to sort it out. So if everyone joins by time 8:05, we'll start at 8:05 and we'll close at sharp 9:05 or 9, something like that. Doesn't make difference. 5 minutes and also. Okay. So we'll maintain some standards without making any problem for everyone. Okay. Thank you, guys. Then. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.